I got this email yesterday and it had a line in it that sort of struck my ear. And it said, I wrote it down. The line was, live a life you love, right? And I'm always sort of looking out for how can we describe this practice, and live a life you love sounds really pretty good. And they had a whole thing around how to go do that, how to change your life, how to change yourself. And then after just a second or two of sitting with it, I thought, no, I can tweak this, make it more accurate. And so from live a life you love, I thought what was better was love the life you live, right? Slightly different, but actually profoundly different. And then of course, it went to the Rolling Stones paraphrase, and it was, if you can't live a life you love the life you live. And you can scan that, you can sort of hum that all day, right? It works really well. And part of the issue is around that is love the life you live is really important. And in this practice, and the why I bring it up this morning is that we don't ever go in with an agenda to change anything out there, anything other than, can I accept and aware more? Can I love what is more? And the issue is that almost always in life, we come in with an agenda of, I want it to be different. I want it to be different. And our work is, like the Stones almost said, love the life you live. So as it is, how can you change internally to find yourself able to love things as they are? And then the magic of it is, once you do that, and you do that primarily towards yourself, love myself as I am, love my life as it is. Once you do that, you yourself start to change. That's the only catalyst needed for this whole thing to get back into balance, which is health, which is going out there and doing good things. And then as you change yourself, of course, your life starts to change. So we get there in the end. But what we have to do is we have to bleed out of the system all of our wanting and reactivity, which is the antithesis of loving things as they are. So on that note, let's take this first to our practice today. And at the end of the practice, we'll talk very briefly about how to take it out into life. But as you're standing at attention, as you're doing deliberate breaths, as you're watching these natural subtle breaths and everything, just check in there. Is there some subtle thing? And chances are there will be. And even so subtle, you might not notice it. Like, I want to be different. I want my life to be different. And that takes a little while to notice it to its really subtle roots into just, okay, it's like this. How can I change to accept this more, to love this more? And it's a little bit analogous to when we were getting deep into that pranayama practice and into some certain patterns. And it was like, oh no, this is uncomfortable. And I was kind of saying, how can I shift internally to find some comfort in this? So you go out there in life, you think, well, actually, I don't like how this is going, but how can I love it, right? That's our angle, and it's subtly but profoundly different to trying to change it so we like it. So let's jump on the mat, and whether we like it or not, let's do it. That was our Friday practice. So how do you take this love the life you're with vibe out into the world? Many ways. But for today, what can be interesting to look at, where the rubber really hits the road, is when you go out there and something happens in life and it kind of bugs you a little bit. I don't like this, right? Any single time that happens for today and the rest of your life, you take responsibility for that. That is a sign that, like, okay, something's going on in here that I have to deal with. It doesn't mean that it's also not happening out there. It might well be. You might be accurately reading the situation. But as a first step, you have to go in here, make your peace with it. Once you've done that, go out there and do anything you need to do. But it's a kind of radical responsibility.